Hello there. 9:04. Time to open the door to another Worldwide Ramblings. My name is Jack Willard. Greetings, pilgrims. I only see boots and a little bit of flowers. Maybe later on I'll mess with the camera a little bit, but I always regret when I do that live. Nice to have you. It's Wednesday, the 4th of March, 2026. And Pam Donnelly is first to join us. Hi, Jack, followed by Karen Phillips, usually here early. Hi, Jack and everybody. Elaine Peterson. Hello, hello, hello. Spencer, hi, all our regular people here. Hi, Jack. And got up here about half an hour ago, but just to set things up, takes time. Love takes time. Orleans, local band, sort of. The front man, what was his name? Hall. John Hall was a congressman for this district for a while. And then when he was unseated by Nan Hayworth, who would soon be unseated herself 2 years down the road, but when she got the seat away from John Hall, she made a post and she said, the Orleans comeback tour is on. And you're still the one, baby, that can scratch my itch. Yes, yes, yes. Bob Kitten. Oh, yes, I remember you. I remember you. Hello, Bob Kitten. It's Jill from Tulsa. She's living on Tulsa time. Very good. Nice to have you here. Nancy DeMarco, if she comes on, she's also from Oklahoma. Pam Inslee, 2 Pams now. Hey, Jack and friends. Hello. Neocon. Even Sonny Bono was a senator. Congressman, I think. Wasn't he? I think he was a congressman. It's not easy to be a senator. You usually got to be a congressman first. There was a certain woman from Texas that thought she was going to go from being a congresswoman. Didn't take me long to start gloating, right? To a senator. But we can proudly say now, goodbye, Jasmine Crockett. We knew who you were right away. We can't have you in the Senate. Go back to the Walmart store. We can't have your filthy mouth on the floor and out in the street you embarrass. So do not stop and harass. Just get the heck out of here. Why don't you leave before January? Make sure the door don't kick you on the arse on the way out. Yeah. Oh, I was so happy about that. But too many people voted for her. Way more than 800,000 people. What the hell is wrong with you in certain parts of Texas? I mean, I understand who she's going to get. She's going to get the free stuff crowd, that voted for Mondami and voted for Kathy Hochul. I understand who she's going to get, but I didn't think there'd be that many of them. She'll try again. She will. She'll be running for Congress again in a couple years. I guess she can't file now. It's too late. So that was really good news to hear that she will be out the door along with the guy from the squad who rang the fire alarm bell and lied about it. Now we just got to get Presley out of there. Yes, one Presley we don't like is Congresswoman Presley. And we've got to get, of course, Taib and AOC. Go back to Sex on the Beach. She makes a good Sex on the Beach when she's behind the bar. That's what I understand. I don't even know what that drink is, but I know it's a real thing. Just like a Cosmo. Yeah. Michael Hembry is here. Hello, Jack, in capital letters. And hello, Michael. Dear in dear. And Neo, you're just too weird. You're weird. If Ozzy were alive today, he'd say you're weird, and he put another word in front of it. You know what I'm saying? Um, I don't know what that means. Oh, deep in the heart of Texas. Okay, I see now. I got it. Deep in the heart of Texas, the stars are bright, especially at night. I'm doing Pee Wee Herman. Remember that movie? That was great, wasn't it? Wasn't it? How about when he dances on the bar to tequila? Robin Rowan joins us. Hello, Jack and family. Miles Wright. How are you, Miles and Judy? Hi, Jack and all. Good to have you here. Marianne Rossi, you came in early last time, and then before I knew it, you had disappeared into the ether. We searched the ether high and low, but it was like looking for Nancy Guthrie. It was, we didn't get up to $1 million reward to find you or anything because we're not that rich around here. But, it was you just dwindled off into the night. Into the night. Benny Mardonis with a melody of his hit. Medley, not melody. What the heck is wrong with me, Elaine Peterson? I think I need a checkup from the neck up. Hello, Elaine. And she's saying, hello, Neo. Yes, Sonny Bono, as Cher said at his memorial, to go from singer, actor, to congressman, that was so like Sonny. He was a get it done, get her done kind of guy. And everybody kind of liked him. So, that helped tremendously. Hey, Jody Smith, evening, Jack. Had the day off today. Well, that's good. You were off on Over the Hump Day. Marty Greco, how are you? All healed up, and are you on your break, or you work the day shift, right? Are you being careful, Marty? Are you taking it nice and easy? Making sure there's no banana peels on the floor? Bob Joyce's Elvis Explained. Now, here's the deal, Michael. Here's the deal. I'm going to do it, of course. I'm not going to do my words in this case. I'm going to do John Capelano. But we're saying hello. If all you want is a fix, but you don't even believe he is. As much as I like you, Michael, you can be a little bit, how you say, but of course we're going to do that. But, what's the rush? Jody Smith hits the thanks button for $1. Well, I thank you very much. Nice way to start the show off in the month of March. Deborah McGinty. Hi, Jack and everyone. You want me to say hello to you? Other people want me to say hello to them. I'll tell you, Mike, though, you've got that look. I could see you in a movie. I really could. You've got that look. I don't know if it would be a biker movie or what, but you do have a good look. I think you got that certain something, I mean, I don't know how you speak and all that. And you say, well, you could if you give me your phone number. But you impressive. Huh. I believe the 2011 is what? So you're going for a walk? Is it March 4th? Oh, dear. So you believe the 2011 is Elvis? Yeah. So do I. But you know that already. If I pull that photo, I'm a sea of photos. Yeah. You believe this is Elvis Presley. So do I, Michael. So do I. Talks like him, sounds like him. And The Grand Patriarch is here from West Palm Beach, Florida, Richard Lyon. And he hits the thanks button for his usual amount. $11.11. Thank you, Richard. That's a great way to start off this new week, this new month. My birthday month. That's later though. I've got 3 weeks left of being in my 60s, and I want them to go slow. Hey, Richard, we're looking at 75 degrees this time next week. What do you think about that? We are so hungry for it. Those kitties out there are so hungry. Those deer are so hungry for it. Hello, Ken Winters. How are you? Yeah, you were here for our little garden show tour earlier. Please watch that video if you haven't already. Beautiful job they did down at Adams Fairacre Farms. And Ken Winters was saying he had been there just 2 hours prior. We would have got there, but we went for a little dinner first. Karen actually said, "Why don't we do dinner afterwards?" So if we would have done it her way, if she would have insisted, because she can do that, we would have maybe run right into you. Vivian's birthday Friday. She's finally going to be 40 years old, huh? Or am I not supposed to say that she'll be the big 40? Wow. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vivian Lee Lyon. Happy birthday to you. Wow. Yeah, a lot of March birthdays. My goodness, my birthday is same as um Matthew Broderick. I got it. Well, look at this. Oh my goodness, you guys are surprising me. Thank you very, very much. Pam Inslee hits the thanks button for $50. I haven't pushed for this, and you guys are just blessing me. Let me know March is going to get off to a good start. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Adams makes a good pizza. Isn't it funny, Kenneth? And, I got to get to that content because Michael wants it. um, we keep saying we're going to try it, but we never do. We just never do. We always end up getting it at Brother Bruno's, One of these days, but I'm eating less pizza now. So, but one of these days we will have Adam's Pizza. What we did get, what I got was those wings. Did you go in and look at the wings? Orange flavored. I like my wings wet. I don't want this dry stuff. I don't mind it a little bit dry when it's KFC, uh, but really that's only extra crispy that's like theirs is. I like a nice wet sauce on my wings. Have you been to Buffalo Wild Wings? Oh, the teriyaki wings and many other flavors, the barbecue and what have you. Those are good wings. Whereas Planet Wings, my God, they're small. What is that? The wings of a bumblebee or something? And then you go to the Chinese restaurant and I feel I'm eating condor wings. I mean, it's like that thing there that invaded the bridge with Richard Gere. What the heck was that? That thing. You know it, Neo. You know what I'm saying. I miss Godfather's Pizza or Godfather Pizza. Was it Godfather's? I don't think I ever had it. That was a chain, right? Mothman, right? The Mothman Prophecies. Oh, it's a good movie. Good movie with Richard Gere. And who was that female actress that did so well as the cop who became his girlfriend? Oh my goodness, Deborah McGinty hits the thanks button. Hasn't happened in a long time with really no prompting. You match my shirt. Yeah, you match my yeller. You match my yeller and my towel back there. It's just a towel, but it kind of looks cool on camera. Thank you, Deborah McGinty. This may be a record here of people hitting the thanks button so early. And I haven't even looked at Cash App yet, which is lowercase letters Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56. But thank you. I used to like that pizza too, Neo. Where was it? A chain store, was it? Because I certainly have heard of it, but I'm pretty sure I never have it. Jody says, Jack, the Dentons is a confirmation for a lot of people. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Dentons and Benton, where we see Certified Elvis Impersonator by EPEE, Elvis Presley Enterprises certified Matt Joyce doing his Elvis show, and in the audience is his daddy. And daddy comes up and does some singing. And of course, the big thing is American Trilogy. We have that video up here, but of course, I've never done that proper list yet to say right where it is. Jack, you are the man. We like you even though we aren't sure why. Ha 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 ha. Ricardo. Maybe you like people that have a little bit of a screw loose. I mean, it could get worse, it could get really good. I'll start telling you what I really think about, past things. No, I love both my ex-wives. There's no animosity there. And I'm very well aware in both marriages I could have been a lot better. Yes, yes, yes. Anxiety, you got to keep it in check. So there we go. Okay. 9:20, let's get to that content. So we'll say it's 20 minutes in. Charlie posted this. That's all he says, Charlie, and it was sent to me by one of our regulars here. I love it when you send me postings that are good. And it says Charlie, author, but I'm not sure how much is you and how much is John Capelano. So let's just read it. Bob Joyce, not Robert Joyce. There are two at the church. Boy, have I heard that. And I've got so many photos. I don't see how you could dispute it. Bob Joyce, not Robert Joyce. There are two at the church appears quite clearly to be the artist formerly known as Elvis Presley. That's Pastor Bob Joyce, who we see every week preaching that. I'm adding that. Who names their oldest son Bob Joyce and their second son Robert Joyce? No. No one, remember, while dispelling the notion he's Elvis, Bob Joyce said, I was born Bob Joyce. Yeah, born again Bob Joyce. You could say it that way. I don't know. Research, I didn't say this was perfectly written. Researcher John Capelano provided the poster claiming to be John Capelano is not an imposter. So this is the complicated part. Who hacked Capelano's computer and posted from it. Yes, I traced the metadata and IP to Capelano. He's the real deal. And as Mr. Capelano states, he was more certain Bob Joyce is Elvis than his own pictures analyzed proved John was John. Okay, in other words, he did an analyzation of himself. Maybe I should have pre-read this a little more than I did. I've heard many Elvis impersonators, and none ever made the hair on my arms stand up, as did Elvis singing Trilogy. That's in Denton's, the nightclub that no longer exists, on tape. When I was in the hospital facing what was thought to be a life-threatening illness, when I heard Joyce sing Trilogy, well, yeah, we all had that experience. The placement of facial markers such as scars, teeth, nose, hair, fingers, height, width, weight, posture, singing, eyes, ears, access to Graceland is either a case of the most extraordinary coincidences. Oh, we don't really believe in those, do we? In the history of man, Elvis has a twin, or he's Elvis. Oh, see, I told you Jesse was alive. That's what they're going to say there. And when we start talking about there being multiple people involved in this whole thing, oh, there's the four brothers now. If his MO was to escape the limelight, then bravo! He did it. He did it. If his MO was to bring people to Christ and turn the tide of those that followed him into the life of rock and roll and Elvis return, even if limited to gospel, would be bigger than Elvis, the rock star, and he could turn more to Christ at a time when it's needed than any other. Well, he can be a light, the Holy Spirit does the turning. A man just is used by God if he's available. Then again, this could all be coincidence. Either way, if Elvis set the stage for the death of Elvis Presley, the entertainer, or he actually died, Elvis, the entertainer, rock and roll star, is dead. When Bob Joyce gave his speech and said, "I was born Bob Joyce," did he actually say it that way? I was born Bob Joyce? He could have easily been referring to being born again. And, I've certainly covered that before, or accepting Christ as Bob Joyce. As I have said before, those of you who think that Elvis was saved from an early age just because he recorded gospel albums and stuff, that just doesn't ring true to me. He was, sorry to say this, but Elvis was very promiscuous. From a number of sources, we know that. That's not defaming Elvis. That's just saying what's true of just about every man at one point. And when you are, the most famous man on the planet and women are falling at your feet, there are people that don't want to believe that, and that's fine. But yeah, I think that is true. But the thing, as I have said before, is when Larry Geller came on the scene, when Elvis needed someone to do his hair, and they developed a friendship and what have you, and Larry Geller started to introduce him to all the new age stuff, everything from Hinduism to Buddhism to I don't want to say white magic, but a lot of different things that are contrary to the gospel of Jesus Christ. At that point, certainly was my experience when I became born again in 84, walking away from Hinduism, which I've been chasing for a couple of years. At that point, Elvis would have said, "Larry, you're a nice man. I like the way you do my hair, but I believe in Jesus Christ, and what you're peddling does not go hand in hand with the gospel. So I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it, you know." Wouldn't necessarily have thrown him out of the house, but he wouldn't have wanted to hear about that. He was at that point searching different religions extensively, extensively. Okay. So, um, if his MO was to escape the limelight, then bravo, he did it. If his MO was to bring people to Christ and turn the tide, okay, he did it. Um, I'm not one to believe anything unless I see it for myself, with notable exceptions, technology driven, detailed analysis like John Capelano performed. So this is Charlie speaking. While I don't personally know John, I know very credible people who do, and they claim the post is real and John stands by the post. We never know unless Bob Joyce comes out publicly. That's not necessarily true. Oh, yes. And then there's the physician. Yeah, we don't talk about that enough, right? We don't talk about the physician that you see being interviewed in the Bill Bixby, the two specials. I don't know which one, whether it was the first one or the second one, Did Elvis Fake His Death? Those two specials that you can still find here on YouTube with Bill Bixby. We have videos where we roll in some of that footage. We will never know unless Bob Joyce comes out publicly. And yes, then there's the physician who wrote a book claiming he was treating Elvis as a patient and jeopardized his professional medical reputation to make such a claim. The preponderance of evidence swings grossly in one direction and not in the one in which Elvis Presley actually died in 1997. On the other hand, you can't ignore the toxology reports for whomever it was they buried at Graceland, but the photos from the death scene, along with all the other evidence, mysteriously disappeared, as one would expect in a cover up, as well as the coroner announcing Elvis died of a heart attack to the public on the day of Elvis' purported death, contradicting the position of the doctors conducting the autopsy. In a further twist of irony, the stomach contents taken during the autopsy — it's routine to analyze stomach contents in an autopsy — were inadvertently destroyed. Bad luck, yet another unusual happening in a series of happenings, or deliberate. Regardless, coincidence, error, or otherwise, all of these things um, would have to have happened to support a fake death and not actually putting Elvis in the ground, providing an escape to fake a death. We each form our own opinions, but the single most compelling piece of information for me is below. I can't play that video that they show because it doesn't come alive in the post. And that is way too technical jargon for me to try to do here. So early on, when in videos like The Verdict, when we talked about the early information concerning whether Elvis had faked his death or not, we covered everything that Gail Brewer Giorgio talked about, Phil Aitchison, who was paid to do a report. A well-known journalist in Memphis, Tennessee, was paid to do a report, and he talked about everything. And then we have Gene Smith, cousin Gene Smith, Billy Smith, Billy Smith's cousin, who's passed away now. Gene Smith, saying he looked at the body and he knew it wasn't Elvis Presley. It looked like a wax dummy to him. And supposedly Tanya Tucker had the same impression. We talked about Phil Aitchison saying that the body that was found on the floor at Graceland was a large man, but didn't look anything like Elvis. And that's exactly what the paramedics said. That's what they said. Anytime someone, say, is going to enter the witness protection program for, in Elvis Presley's case, multiple reasons, including feeling choked by the fame and a prisoner at Graceland, everyone's going to get on board. Everyone's going to get on board. All the family members and what have you are likely to get on board. Elvis would leave the country to be made well in mind, body, and spirit. But of course, with all this stuff, a bazillion times more of any other conspiracy theory you want to come up with, a bazillion more things to look at. It's not, oh, well, it bears a slight resemblance. It's a lot more than that, So that's not going to convince anybody. Well, all right, he bears a slight resemblance. That and 8 dozen other things. I can't find that with anybody else. I can't find that kind of stuff. He happens to sound like him. You go back to 2011, where he's not trying to disguise a voice at all. Just look at Wild New Elvis video. I've said that before, but there's always new people. It's the voice of Elvis talking up Come On To Me, and then he sings it just like Elvis Presley. An earlier recording, I don't know if it's still up on Spotify, of He Hideth My Soul. Not the one that he redid on a more recent album, but He Hideth My Soul. It's Elvis Presley. There's no doubt about it. You can't put up the name Bob Joyce and play an Elvis song. You'd have to be Elvis to be able to get away with that. Jupiter's realm. Do you all remember when you heard of his death? I sure do. What about you guys? What video is what, Michael? I don't know. That's still a work in progress because I didn't get that explanation in what was sent to me. That's one reason, Michael. He wanted to be free from fame. He wanted to get off that roller coaster, but he had serious medical issues. I don't know why people would try to pretend that he wasn't addicted to prescription pain medication. You know, he had done the karate and got injured doing that. And he had all kinds of real pain issues. When you have a big stomach, that's going to cause you back pain, you know? And so Dr. Nick, you know, you can't say no to Elvis. It wasn't all Dr. Nick's fault. He would have been ex-employee Dr. Nick if he had done that. So Jeannie C. Riley announcing from the stage, that's right, Jody, that Elvis is very much alive. And I know people that talk to him all the time. People won't like that I'm saying this, but, you know, that's what she said from the stage. Hey, Rocky Mountain Red Wing, welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh, so there was just so much to take a look at. Then we talk about what Gail talked about and what have you back in the days of Elvis in Las Vegas. A lot of people wanted to come back and meet Elvis. It's very well known that back then um, Vegas was run by the mafia. And they wanted to meet Elvis too. They were fans. He wasn't going to get involved in any of that. Elvis was a law and order kind of guy, but he didn't stop them from coming to meet them. And they'd sit down and maybe they'd have a drink or two. Elvis didn't drink, you know, but they'd have a drink or two. Loose lips sink ships, and maybe they said more than they should have. I have never had any confirmation that he actually testified, though. Does anybody have confirmation on that you can point me to? Hello, Katina Swatsworth. Nice to see you here. So tired of being Elvis for sure, needing a break from it. But my goodness, he had major problems with his colon. He had bowel obstruction. That was a very real thing too. So he had to leave. You know, he didn't want to do this in an American hospital. And he wanted to have a whole new life and just get away from this. So according to Phil Aitchison, and I think it was Argentina that he went to for 3-4 months. Doesn't mean he abandoned Lisa Marie, but then people bring up a very good point that if he had come back and she had known her father had faked her death when she was very young, she would not have been able to keep the secret. So that's valid too. That's valid too. He may have watched from afar for a while, you know. So that is another you know, that is something we don't know for sure, for sure. And Jupiter Realm talking to Robin Roman. Yeah, everybody remembers where they were. Any truth to the rumor Pastor Bob has the letters EP hidden in one of his CD covers? That's a new one, Kenneth. No one has mentioned that. I do know that someone who attended the church at least one weekend, the Pastor Bob at the time when they were in the strip mall, was known to have Sunday night jams for musicians only. They would do all kinds of songs, including regular rock and roll songs, you know. Uh, when people left they would do it right there in the church. When they left, he was the last one out, and he just glanced at that a music sheet that was on Bob's piano, and it was a new song that Bob had been working on. And up top of the paper, if this is true, were the initials EAP. Yes, there is a CD cover with hidden things. Now it's getting like Paul is really dead. Paul McCartney is really dead, and all the clues they put on various album covers. Watch the movie Paul McCartney is Really Dead on Tubi. It's quite a movie. I'm not saying he's really dead and that they had a new, a double come in 1966, but there are a lot of things to take a look at, and they present them in that movie. There's a new McCartney special on Prime Video now covering the early years of Wings. He had a lot to overcome after the Beatles broke up because so much was expected of him, and it was a little shaky at first. His first hit was My Love, I guess. That was his first breakthrough hit. But people were looking to see, is he the giant of an artist we think he was, or is he someone who will fall apart when he's on his own? And it wasn't until Band on the Run that he gained a certain respectability. Oh yeah, he's a hit maker. He's a melody king. He's, of course, got the great vocals, and he can write good lyrics by himself. Yes. So watch that on Tubi if you want to. My initials are EMP. Oh, okay. Yeah. Of course, the M stands for Methuselah. Elaine Methuselah Peterson. Very interesting. So that's a new one, Kenneth. I'll have to check that out. I don't have the albums, the early albums. Somebody wants to photostat a copy and put it in the email. It's jackthefairguy@gmail.com. Jack the FAIR guy at gmail.com. Jack, I have seen EAP inscribed in one of his CDs. Yeah, I think I might have seen that. Those hidden clues, right? All the clues he's given from the pulpit, along with a kind of vague denial where he never mentioned the name Elvis Presley. And that was in 2017, of course. So again, thank you, Deborah McGinty. Thank you, Pam Inslee. $50 on the thanks button. Appreciate that. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Richard Lyon, 1111. Thank you, Jody Smith, the great encourager there, for hitting the thanks button that you see down there. I guess sometimes it says ask, and that's a great way. Well, look at that, 103 people. 103 people. So what do you guys think? There's some, I just lost 4 by saying that, or did I lose 5? I chased them away. Oh, dear. It's not like I can see you, so, don't feel, oh, he sees me here, I better get off quick. I don't. Just looking back, okay. So certainly, and I know Katina is here, the amount of different people that look like Pastor Bob Joyce is incredible, because it's not just two. It's not just two. How about this one? Yeah, sure. Do it live always leads me to regret it. Now, if he had a suntan, you'd see that fine. I'm going to get a Google photo of this, so we'll have that's terrible. Yeah. Nope, that's not going to work. So I'll have a Google photo of that. But there are so many. The Sabrina wedding. Look in the eyes there. Look in the eyes. Is there any way, in your opinion, that that man could be this man? Look at the hairstyle there of that man with Sabrina. But also look in the eyes and tell me that's the same person who preaches every Sunday at Household of Faith. That it's this man here, you know? There's the Elvis eyes, and he looks 91. I'm not talking about the guy in the middle. That's somebody else. That's somebody else. I think they do this just to drive us nuts. They do this just to drive us nuts, and the list of imposters keeps growing. You can tell that's not the man who preaches every Sunday, right? The Elvis eyes. I don't see them there. Don't see them there. There's young soldier Robert Wayne Joyce. He'd be 73 now, 74 in June. Add to the mix this guy, tall, lanky. Who's that? It's almost like he's chiding us. Ha ha. Here's another one for you to scratch your head about. There's our pastor, Bob Joyce from LWC Media, professional headshot. Go to bobjoycemusic.com where you can subscribe and get exclusive content, as many people are doing. And then there is someone here. It's not the same guy, in my opinion. It's not the same guy. Holy moly. If this isn't the strangest story that's ever been, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. So what do you think? Jack, my gut has always been, I think Priscilla knows that Pastor Bob is him. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Of course she does. She misspoke with Oprah Winfrey and said that that Elvis had said she said something and said Elvis said the same thing to me just the other day. Really? Would you have a seance? Julie. Oh, no, Julia. Dr. Julia Hoffman. No, this is Julia. It's like a French name, is it not? No, there's no Q there, though. Is it as simple as Bacchus? No, right? It's not that simple. Hi, Jack and family. Just happened to drop in. Well, I'm glad you just dropped in to see what condition your condition is in. Everything reminds me of a song, Julia, and usually an old song. Where are you watching us from, Julia? I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings for the 4th of March. And he's his supposed kids don't look like him. Yeah. Matt Joyce, Sabrina, Tom, they don't. No, they don't. Carolyn Mullins, how are you? Jack Priscilla, Jerry Schilling, his best friend and confidant, knows Lisa knew, but when? I don't think they told her when she was like, I don't think they told her in 1977, 78. I think he had to stay away for a while because she would not have been able to keep the secret. Um, sure, Jerry Schilling would have to know. He would have to know. And here comes Brad. If Jerry wants to give us definitive proof that we're all crazy, he knows my email, jackthefairguy, F-A-I-R, jackthefairguy at gmail.com. Robin Roman feels and I've heard this before, that there is a bloodline between Winona Judd and the Presley family. So it's not the first time I've heard that, but I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with that. I would have to see some kind of conclusive proof that she's linked. It's interesting, yeah. And we're just kind of, we're not telling the story from the beginning to the end, which is a fascinating story. I just don't know. I just don't know where. As I say, this is kind of like a self-driving car. This story now, and you've got to have courage to get in a self-driving car. I would. I wouldn't want to do it. 18-wheelers on the road, and I'm putting my life in the hands of a computer. I don't like that. But of course, the story doesn't deliver every single day. There are periods when it's hot. There are periods when it's not. But Georgia Brown, sweet Georgia Brown. How many times have you been called that, right? Bob Joyce is not Elvis. Well, tell us why you feel that way, Georgia, and give your explanation. It's easy to say it. I can say I'm Rob Lowe, but I can't prove it. Say something that that we haven't heard 1,000 times before, like he doesn't look 91, because I'm getting tired of answering that one. As I say, in some pictures, he looks every bit of 91 years old. Like the picture on the right and the left, which is basically the same shot. Weathered skin. People that hug him at the church that are in the healthcare field say he has the frame of an elderly person. But when the anointing comes on him under bright lights and makeup and what have you, maybe Botox, I don't know. He does look younger. He does look younger and very energetic. Why shouldn't he? When Bill Shatner's got like 4 jobs and he's 94, his latest that he's working on a heavy metal album. Mr. William Shatner. And of course, Dick Van Dyke, 100 years old. I mean, I see, I'm sure many of you saw at least some of the depositions of President William Jefferson Clinton and his wife, former Secretary of State, former Senator Hillary Clinton. their depositions. And it's very apparent when you see Bill holding a water glass. There's something going on there. There's something going on there. He's 79 years old, and he looks older than 100-year-old Dick Van Dyke. And he certainly doesn't have the zest. Well, I'm not saying Bill, is that bad. I'm just saying that you can find people 20, 25, 30 years younger than Dick Van Dyke that look much older and carry themselves like an elderly person, where Dick Van Dyke still really doesn't. There's something to be said for the dedication that Dick Van Dyke has had to exercising. He said it really started in his 70s that he realized he wanted to stay out of assisted living. So he would make working out in the gym and doing exercises at home and what have you a regular part of his routine. And I'm sure watching what he ate, it just doesn't happen automatically. Hope you're doing well, Carolyn Mullins. I pray for you all the time. Keep me informed in the email. I don't want to bombard you when you come on here. But we've got a situation now where, there's been talk about a new sanctuary, because the one that they have, the converted barn, the horse barn that never was, they had stalls and everything, but then the owner decided to give up on that pursuit and sold the property, 9 acres of land, to Household of Faith. And they all, church members and what have you, renovated it themselves, including Pastor Bob Joyce, who obviously has carpentry skills. But the big plan is for the next step to build a much bigger sanctuary. But it won't really be necessary, I don't feel, unless some big announcement was made. And of course, if you made that announcement, there would be an immediate problem in terms of meeting where they are now in the barn. They don't even have a fellowship hall. They use the Salt Creek Church as the fellowship hall when they have luncheons and things like that. They're using both buildings. I don't know for sure where Tom is doing the Bible study. I assume it's on Samples Road at the new property, but I don't know that to be a fact. Maybe somebody does out there. So you don't want to build a 2,500 seat sanctuary and have 1,000 empty seats. So this is interesting. Let's see here. The next concert is going to happen in Cabot, Maine, at a Baptist church on May 22nd. And see if I can get some information here. Should have had this ready. Sabrina Joyce Beasley McDonald. Yeah, here it is. The ABC FM benefit concert with Pastor Bob Joyce, Arkansas Baptist Children and Family Ministries. Join us for the Arkansas Baptist Children and Family Ministries benefit concert with Pastor Bob Joyce on Friday, May 22nd, 2026. This event offers open seating with two seating sections: preferred seating and general admission. General admission. Seating within each section is open and first come, first serve. Doors open at 6 p.m. with the concert beginning at 7 p.m. Seats may not be reserved except for those currently in the building. So please ensure your entire party is present upon entry. Tickets will be checked at the door. A maximum of 10 tickets may be purchased per order. I like this part here. And names are required for each attendee. This way, if we see Jack Willard's name, we'll know to make it known. No, thank you. Any order exceeding 10 tickets will be refunded. They don't want people buying them up and then, scalping them. www.abcfm.org. Is that a forward slash? It looks like a straight up slash. www.bobjoycemusic.com. BobJoyceMusic.com, which is his website run by LWC Media. The location of the concert is 204 North 3rd Street, Cabot, Arkansas, about 23 miles outside of Little Rock, Arkansas. The last day to buy tickets is Friday, May 15th at 11:59 p.m. Preferred seating is $100 per ticket. General admission is $50 per ticket. I don't see anything here about meet and greets and what have you. That doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, especially for those with preferred seating. Usually, you know, it depends on how big the artist is. Like Peter Noon's going to come back to his table at the end of every concert, and he's going to work the merch table, and he'll take pictures and what have you, and sell his merchandise along with the people that work for him. What happened in Arkansas, in Coleman, Alabama, is that two groups of tickets, the VIPs and the preferred seating behind them, they got the meet and greet, and the ones in general admission did not get a meet and greet. So I assume they still had access to some sort of merch table, but I don't know that to be a fact. You don't ever want to shut somebody out from buying merch. That wouldn't make sense at all, but who knows? So, on this site, which you can see on Sabrina's personal page, they also have please select a ticket. Okay, remember, you're not selecting a particular seat, but you can select either preferred seating or general admission. But I had read somewhere that the preferred seating was already all taken, so they'll let you know. So it's the First Baptist Church in Cabot, Arkansas, with Pastor Bob on the 22nd. Now, there's supposed to be two more concerts. This one here is not being run by LWC Media. The other two will be, and I have no information on that so far. So I assume there'll be one in the summer and one in the fall. That would be my guess. So there you go. Lots of pictures on her page with her husband, who sometimes looks like Randy Quaid, but I think he's trimmed his beard real nice now, and it looks much better trimmed. Less like Santa Claus. And there's her family. And Sabrina, who always looks different, looks fantastic. She does. She looks like, she's slim and trim. What can I tell you? Not that she was ever heavy. I'm just saying that she looks like $1 million. Just leave it at that. Why am I digging this hole? I don't know. All right. Jack, I've heard that there are other famous people that know he's alive. I'm sure there are, and talk to him on a regular basis. And they don't talk to him as Pastor Bob. They talk to him as E. E, yes, that's exactly right. Elaine Peterson may actually leave the building, may leave her house. Good. Why do they charge for a meet and greet, Michael? I guess the thought occurred to me. Um, it depends how many people are going to be in there. If say the pastor was really 91 years old, you know, everybody wants a piece of him. Everybody wants a piece of him. They got stuff to tell him, and it's somewhat contained at the church because seating is limited. But in a place like this church in Cabot, I think the seating is much higher, and you can really wear you out. The money that he receives all goes into household of faith. So obviously, if you go see someone that's very well known, there won't be a meet and greet. Well, it depends. Again, it depends what level they're at. You know, um, obviously, if you went to see Paul McCartney, you're not going to get a meet and greet unless he's doing this for a charity and you win some kind of a contest. They do that sometimes. Uh, but if you're Peter Noon, you'll do a meet and greet for everybody because you make a lot of money doing that. And so it just depends. But I know this is a pastor. I get it. This is a pastor doing signing 8x10s, and people comment on that. And all I can tell you is that the man says that he doesn't take anything for as a salary or for the money the CDs bring in, or the money that was raised in Coleman, Alabama, because there is still talk about building this sanctuary. And do they really need the money that would bring in, or does he already have the money? And does he have powerful friends like in Mar-a-Lago that would be more than happy to be major donors in a future larger sanctuary? Does it make sense to build a larger sanctuary without making a major announcement that would draw a lot of people? How do you make that announcement without the church already being ready? Because then you have no church until the new one is built. You can't stay where you are. It'll be crazy. It'll be wild. I mean, I know the young people don't care so much, and the young reporters don't seem to care too much, which all works in Pastor Bob's favor. Perhaps I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. But uh, if the story were to break, he's got a major problem right away. He's got a major problem. He'd have to go down to Hot Springs, perhaps, maybe to the OZK Arena if he could get it for every Sunday. But they do sports there and other things, and there'd be times when, there would be a conflict. I mean, he's going to do a morning service. He might have to up the service a little earlier. Hey, Overbill Automotive, it's been a while. Yes, working out and ignoring doctors, which my dad's generation seems to have way too much trust in them. So, how old of a person are you? I'm assuming you're a guy because of Overbill Automotive, but I don't know that to be true. How old of a person are you? And where are you watching from? So Robin Roman is now questioning Carolyn. What did Carolyn say? I didn't see that. Oh, Winona is not Elvis's daughter. Uh, his father was a nobody from Kentucky. Her father was a nobody from Kentucky. That was proven years ago. So apparently, Robin Roman is very much a believer that Winona is the daughter. Uh, I, the story is bizarre enough. It is bizarre enough without saying Winona Judd is the daughter of Elvis Presley. Um, but I can't say for certain. I see I see kind of the Elvis attitude in Winona. I do, but that's also the Southern persona. So I have no opinion on that. I will stay out of that. Just looking back, we have 117 watching. That means new people. Please let me know. Tell me about yourself, sweet Georgia Brown. You knew I was going to say that. Bob Joyce isn't 91. He is making history, money by letting you think he is Elvis. I just don't think I think that's BS. But, you are certainly not the only one who've ever said that. Oh, he doesn't look 91. Uh, and we have talked about the reasons we think he very possibly could be 91. We've shared dozens and dozens of coincidences. I don't like that word. I don't really believe in coincidences that point you to, but there's nothing I'm going to say that's going to convince you. Your opinion, I don't know how much research you've done. It's easy to say, um, you know, but just thinking he doesn't look 91 isn't enough to build a case on it. It's not a strong foundation. So Robin Roman is clearly, I see it now, is clearly in the Winona is Elvis's daughter thing. Jack, my husband was a career baby. We were stationed, military baby, stationed at Millington Naval Air Base out of Memphis. He was an MP and was one of the honorary guards at Graceland. It's interesting. That was not EP's wax figure melting fast. That was not EP wax figure melting fast. So what Gene Smith said was that one of the sideburns had been glued on and popped up at the top of the hairline. It was obvious something was going on there. It looked like glue to him, like a toupee had been a wig had been. And Gene Smith was a no nonsense kind of Southern gentleman. You could just tell. And he was telling you his perceptions. We have him on tape. I don't have Tanya Harding going over to, this was reported in the Phil Aitchison report. I don't have documentation that Tanya Harding went over to Vernon Presley and said, Vernon, that's not Elvis. Where is he? And Vernon said to Tanya, quote, oh, he's upstairs. We had to show the fans something. The report being that they had gone to the Atlanta Wax Museum many weeks before, bought Elvis, but he would have looked like a younger Elvis, and they worked on it. So this is what we have here. Do you, Carolyn, believe that Elvis died in 1977 then? Are you in that camp? Which is certainly your right to believe that. Jack, there was in the early 90s, there was a person that saw Elvis at a restaurant. And when he went to leave, the waitress saw he signed the receipt, John Burroughs. Yeah, we showed some of that. We showed the pictures, I guess. But the thing that was so weird about that is he was wearing the Elvis glasses. You would want to be as unconspicuous as you can. I understand signing John Burroughs. That was the name he always used. Um, it's usually Jon Burroughs. That was the name that he adopted probably in 1977, and that was the name on the flight out in a private plane from Memphis Airport. Kenneth Winters reminds me of Eric Carr, who was one of the drummers of Kiss for a while. I would see Eric Carr every weekend at a local mall before he joined Kiss. So that's interesting. I never knew Eric and didn't really pay that much attention to Kiss when he was in it. It was years later when I went to the Fishkill Mall after Eric had died of cancer, and there was his mom, maybe his dad, or his dad passed away at that point, but she had all his memorabilia and other Kiss memorabilia that she was selling at the flea market there. She was very proud of his involvement with Kiss, and I believe his funeral was at St. Joseph's Church on Cottage Street right here. And that Gene Simmons came to St. Joseph's Church. That's what I was told. This was all long after the fact. Well, being the godmother and being a blood relative are two different things. But again, I think I'll just stay out of this. Eric Carr was your idol. How would you have picked him out? How long was he in Kiss before he got sick? That's right. You're a big Kiss fan. That's right. So you would probably know who he was. And yeah, I got to chat with his mom and what have you at the Fishkill Flea Market. This goes back many years ago. It would have been in my second marriage. So somewhere around 2004, 2005, something like that, maybe. That's what stood out about Eric Carr that you especially liked. Yeah, we talked about Jeannie C. Riley, and why would she say that? There's so many things. There's so many things that we've talked about from the George Klein funeral. Did Pastor Bob Joyce and Matt Joyce attend the George Klein funeral? George Klein, the Memphis disc jockey, who Elvis once called his best friend, died at a ripe old age. And we have shown pictures of the back of the head of what looks to be Bob Joyce, Pastor Bob Joyce, and Matt Joyce. And then we have to figure in is Pastor Bob Joyce really married to Winona Joyce in 2026? And if so, what happened to Robert Wayne Joyce? Did they divorce and when? People say this, people say that, but it's very hard to verify any of it. Just saying it doesn't really hold a lot of weight. So, Zoo Crew 99, what's going on with you, huh? He talking to Overbuilt Automotive. I met his mom at the store, and she gave me a card to attend his memorial in Newburgh. So not St. Joseph's, but I did a wedding at this church with Father Bill. I remember that. This goes back to my first marriage. Um, what the heck is the name of the church in Newburgh? Right there in the heart of the city. That one, right? Sure. So it was in Newburgh, not on Cottage Street. I never got that verified. Didn't go. Just heard about it later. You love my shirt. Well, thank you. This is a genuine Hawaii shirt, made in Hawaii, Hawaiian shirt. Thank you, Carol from Zephyr Hills, Florida. And I've worn it many times before, but it is one of my favorites too. And I've got two other genuine Hawaii shirts. Then I've got a lot of the No Boundaries Hawaiian type shirts, maybe 12, 15 from, and you'll see them during the summer. You'll start to see them now as the temperature changes. Next week, if not sooner, I'm going to get to wear shorts for the first time. I didn't get to wear shorts this winter at all. It was just that cold all the time. But I will this next week, that's for sure. Naomi Judge was Elvis's private nurse. Oh, yeah? That's another new one. How can I respond to something like that? Carolyn Mullins feels strong about this. Oh, I don't think Priscilla has that much weight to sue anybody um, over this story. I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think Priscilla's got that kind of power. I think people still hold the party line if we're right in our conclusions. Um, oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I heard that it was St. Joseph's Church here, Kenneth, but I never got that verified. He was the nicest member of KISS. Um, nice to his fans. Well, yeah, because he was grateful. I mean, how long was he in KISS? For someone to get a spot like that, he's going to be the most grateful. He probably thought, I'm just going to play local bands for all my life. The best drummer that ever lived, better than Buddy Rich, better than let's see, great drummers, better than Elton John's drummer Nigel Olsson, better than Liberty DeVito from Billy Joel. I don't know. It's a tall order there. I'm not, the guy downstairs is a drummer and he plays keyboards and he's been playing for over 50 years. He's pretty good, but he's a cover band drummer. That's what he is. Still. The ad was a little risky, or are you trying to say risque? So every once in a while, I see a really risque ad. I do. Well, when Journey approached this gentleman from Asian gentleman who sounded so much like Steve Perry. He was dealing with a serious drug problem, and they had to get him cleaned up before they could use him. So there was a real project there to get this guy ready to be the lead voice of Kiss. Who was bad, Jack? You can't just say he was bad, Jack. You got to say the name, because I mentioned like 4 people. Who was bad? Bad to the bone? My friend Mike Candido, who lives out in Las Vegas now, drummer for Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, and played in so many bands. Phenomenal drummer and a phenomenal vocalist. But I can't tell you the details because I'm the guy who just played the songs on the radio. Uh, so I'm not sure which one of the ones I mentioned is bad in your opinion. I don't know that song, Elaine Peterson. Hey, look at that. Was 125, 123. I wish I was doing more hot content. We're just kind of chatting at this point. And as I say, the story moves in and out. You know, it's not always going to be super hot. Anybody got any questions that's new about this whole thing that we could answer? Did you see my question before? Do you think Gene Ho knew or knows the truth, Jack? That's a very good question, Marianne Rossi. He was always very cryptic with me, Gene Ho, when we would talk in a text or something like that. He wasn't going to give me his real inside opinion. Um, I'm trying to think of anything I could say that wouldn't be violating a trust, that really wouldn't mean anything. Because I talked with him about the idea of Kurt Russell playing the lead in the Bob Joyce story. And Gene Ho said something to me that indicated that maybe they had already talked about that. Maybe that was already something that could possibly be in the works, or at least that Kurt Russell had been in touch with Pastor Bob Joyce, because it needs to happen. It's a great story. I mean, look at all the stories that get released that are not great stories, and this is, to me, the greatest entertainment story of all times, whether we're right in our conclusions or not. If God created a clone, it's still a great story. If he's the love child of Elvis Presley, if he's the son of Elvis Presley, well, either way, that would be love child, I suppose. Uh, how could he not be in the bloodline? It's just crazy, go nuts. It's impossible to believe that he's not in the bloodline. So it's hard to say, Marianne, about that, because of course we know Dave Blaze, when he came on our thread here, you can see it in the video that has um, picture of Gene Ho and Pastor Bob and Honest Talk in the title. Dave Blaze says he's not Elvis. Nobody wants to pay big money to see an Elvis imitator, you know. So if Dave Blaze feels he's not Elvis, did Gene Ho feel he's not Elvis? Does he feel he's not Elvis? I don't know. Certainly, Dave Blaze was very quick to tell Gene, you got to get down there to Benton, Arkansas. Check this guy out. People say he looks and sounds just like Elvis. So what did they uncover? What do they know for sure? Obviously, Gene Ho joked about it in a certain kind of way. and talked about, you know, Welina being the Germany girlfriend, you know, in a joking way, Germany girlfriend of Elvis Presley. Is that Welina Hattie Joyce? Is it with Soldier Presley? It's not Sigrid Schutz or Sigrid Schultz. No, I don't believe so. But Sigrid Schultz was in the mix. She knew Elvis too, and she knew Welina. I think all three of them were friends, but the girlfriend was this woman here. Was this woman here? And I'm not convinced that's Sigrid. Um, and that would make Welina a lot older than 73 years old or 72, whatever, because she would have been about 15 there. Oh boy, that makes me think of the Clinton deposition, huh? I mean, it was high drama when, there's going to come a time where someone is just going to be so caught up in memories that they forget they're making themselves look bad. And when they started showing President Clinton the pictures, like the famous one with him, with a girl who looks to be about 15 sitting on his lap in an airplane. She's got her arm around him, but he doesn't have his arm around her. He's just got his arms leaning on the rest of the armrest. Um, the president had a look of fondness, of recollection, and you see his lawyer getting very concerned that he's revealing that he's remembering fond memories of back in the day. And she literally grabs the pictures away from him, and he turns to his left and he takes the one picture and grabs it away from her to look at it again. And then when he answers the question about, does he like young women? He says that he doesn't have the that kind of desire for underage women. Very important to him to say that. And she said, "Well, I didn't say underage. Clearly, some of these girls were very underage. I said young." And he says, "Well, no, I don't. That's not true. I don't have that. I don't have that desire." I'm paraphrasing here. And she said, "Well, would you say that an intern is young?" And he didn't even wait. He said, "Yes." She got him. She got him right there. Now, Monica was of legal age. She was of legal age. And of course, Hillary was all combative. I mean, they're going to release a whole video. What do you care if a still shot has been released? Doesn't mean Congressman Bober should have done that. She shouldn't have. Play by the rules and what have you, as strange as they may be, play by the rules. Of course, Hillary wanted it to be public, so that is a feather in her cap, I suppose. Bill didn't seem to mind. They're not going to put him in prison. He knows that. They're not going to push that. So at this point, he's, but I get the sense that he is not a man without a conscience, that he doesn't know that he may not be judged in this court, but he'll be judged down the road. And I would say he's very concerned about that. Very concerned. He, in terms of Bill Clinton being a president, most Republicans would say he wasn't all that bad. He wasn't all that bad. He balanced the budget. Nobody even cares about balancing the budget anymore. And he dealt with welfare fraud and things like that. And most people were pretty happy with him as a president compared to, some that would follow, especially, of course, who. I won't say the name. uh, so every night we get the updates on the war. I think that the term war won't apply for long because we're already winding it down in the sense that we have struck so many targets that are pretty much incapable. We're trying to stop the drones now that can get through the Iron Dome and what have you. Those drones, which can be carried off on a truck and shot from, or I shouldn't say shot, but they can be. What do you do to a drone? You make it fly into the air from any location, So there's that. And of course, we're worried about the sleeper cells here in America. That's another thing. We had that incident in Austin, Texas, where 3 people lost their lives. So here's somebody named, almost looks like Donna Clement, Donnie. It's not Petrie, like Rob Petrie. Is Bob Joyce sick? Why do you ask that? The last I saw him, he was healthy as a horse. Robert Wayne Joyce, I don't know. I don't know about Robert Wayne Joyce, but Jack, let's go to Hawaii. Well, there's one person that I don't think is here right now that goes to Hawaii every September. And if they were to say it, I'd know they'd be really inviting me. Yeah, it's not kind of on my bucket list, but so is a lot of places. Carolyn is really caught up in this. This is my last message to you. EP only chose Jerry Schilling for her godfather. They never chose a godmother. I'm not going to tell you again. I admire your passion, Carolyn, and I admire your passion, Robin Roman. I'm looking what you wrote, Jody. You don't think Elvis died of his drug habits, but that doesn't. Well, of course, the narrative is he died of basically a heart attack in the bathroom at Graceland. I don't think he'd been clean and sober for a while. I think that he was in trouble. So what does that mean, Michael? Winthrop Rockefeller. He did like the Rockefellers, didn't he? Is Bill's real father. Well, I've never looked into that. Why do you say that, overbuilt transmission? Automotive. Overbuilt automotive. All men like youthful, pretty women. Some, like Bill, will go to the far extreme, while way too old pagans. Every man has to fight dark desires. I certainly agree with you on that. Carmen Sylvia is here from New Zealand. Hi, Carmen. What's going on? I still haven't checked out your site yet. I must write that down. So I check out Carmen Sylvia official. I mean, I've seen you sing and stuff, but I haven't seen your other videos you were referring to. Paul was his name. Paul Carvello? Two Pauls, one band. This is one of the strangest worldwide ramblings in a long time. Gene Simmons was talking about how, what was it, Peter Criss and Ace Frehley weren't able to enjoy the fruits of their labor because they just couldn't beat their addictions, you know? They just couldn't stop with the alcohol and drugs. And what I most love about Gene saying is, it's none of your blanking business who I vote for. It's none of your business. You don't get to ask me that. You don't get to ask me that. So, oh dear. Who was bad, Michael? You never said. That I saw, anyway. Could have missed it. Interesting. 1111. 111 watching, not 1001. How am I holding an audience when I'm not really doing much? I'm glad you're here. Hope you're talking to other people. My favorite actor, Bruce Campbell, reveals incurable cancer diagnosis. Yes, Bruce Campbell. What did I see him in? I've enjoyed him, but I can't think of what I saw him in. Let me see here. Look that up. He's 67 years old. American actor, producer, director, writer, and author. He's also starred in many low-budget cult films like Maniac Cop, Bubba Ho, and Crime Wave. Campbell also appeared in mainstream films like Congo, Escape from L.A. with Kurt Russell, yeah, and McHale's Navy in television. But I didn't see any of those. I may have seen a little bit of Escape from L.A. I saw more of Escape from New York. Kurt Russell was always escaping from some big city for a while there. So that's not what I saw him in. I didn't see Evil Dead. He says he is diagnosed with a treatable but not curable. Well, that means he could live for years with it. Some people live even with lymphoma. They live for 3-4 years, you know. So, but yeah, Evil Dead seems to be his biggest thing. What did I see that I really enjoyed with him in it? It's going to drive me crazy now. I'm looking back. I got his IMDb, right? I always confuse the letters. Let's see. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. No, I didn't see that. One December night. Nope, not that one. He's got two projects upcoming. He's got two. Didn't see Rapunzel. This is driving me crazy now. Didn't see Circus of Chaos. Ash for President. No. Spine Chillers. No. Dead by Daylight. Oh, he was in Fargo, which I didn't really see, with William H. Macy. Fargo, the TV show, not the movie. Okay, didn't see it. Randy Cunningham, no. The Escort, I don't think so. Psych. The Color of Time. The Amazing Spider-Man video game. The Replacements TV series. White on Rice. Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie film. Boy, he's got some weird stuff here. And yet I know I saw him in something and I liked it. The Woods. Maybe that's it. That could be it. I'd have seen him in The Woods. And I didn't speak to him. Wow, he's done a lot of stuff. Xena, Warrior Princess, the TV series. The X-Files, I wouldn't have seen that. I was not really an X-Files fan. What I did see, I enjoyed, though. I enjoyed the actors. Mr. Duchovny and what's her name? Kale's Navy, yeah. Huh, so much. He did an episode of Lois and Clark with Dean Cain. So one of these actors that works a lot but never really gets the notoriety that some people would say he deserves. Oh, and Bubba Ho-Tepe played Elvis. Might have seen some of that. Let's see here. Go to the email. Thank you, Elaine Peterson, for hitting the Cash App for $10. Thank you very, very much for your love tip. I appreciate that, Elaine. You're very faithful. Thank you. And Nanette hits the Cash App for digging the backdrop. Okay, cool. Part of it being a yellow cheap towel from ShopRite, but it shows up good on camera. Hope you like the pictures. $10 from you. Thank you very much for hitting the Cash App. I appreciate that. I'll put that down here. Cash App is a great way for a tip. It's just a tip jar. Don't forget to watch the flower plant show in the video that I did earlier today. I don't even know who that is, Neo. I thought you were going to say someone knows where Phoebe Cates is. Well, I sure don't know myself. You were on what, Gloria? Tell me. I don't know what you were on. Yeah, it is going to rain the next few days. That's true. As it starts the warm-up trend, we're going to have like 3 days of rain, which is not good because we need a new roof here. And it'll happen this year, but it hasn't happened yet. the section of Hampton, Virginia. Oh, that makes me think of Spamberger, who's trying to destroy the state. Just amazes me. You know, you put somebody like her or Mikey Sherrill in there from New Jersey, and it's a recipe for disaster. Winston Sears in Virginia would have been so much better. But the young people that don't know nothing, they don't know nothing. So many of them, and there's wonderful exceptions, of course. Pam Donnelly says The Simpsons predicted that Elvis was alive. I wonder what episode or how long ago and what was the context of the episode. Hello, Jay Pogera. Hi, Jack. Hope you are feeling great tonight. Well, I feel good. I feel good. I certainly feel better than I deserve to feel. And well, I don't know too much about Kentucky, but I know Tennessee a little more, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful. That's where the Tennessee Titan, Todd Bradshaw, lives. Army of Darkness. It's his best film. I bet you that's on Tubi. No? No, it isn't glorifying Satan, is it? Because I won't like it then. Daughter of Darkness, starring John Carlin, is on Tubi. It's a good movie. He did it right after Dark Shadows was canceled in 1971. He did Daughter of Darkness, and it developed a cult following. It did. It was shot. Oh, I don't know. Croatia? I don't know. Some foreign country. Don't want to say France. Don't want to say Russia. But somewhere pretty exotic like that. Hmm. So yeah, we're expecting rain, and then we're expecting some beautiful weather next week. We're talking gazebo weather. It's been a heck of a January, February. So looking forward to that. Really, really am. I can't believe I'm maintaining 104. This is not one I would put on the audition tape in terms of, what I'm delivering and what have you. Um, hmm. Oh, I think we could avoid a volcano if we took a 2-week trip to Hawaii, Gloria. You never know, though. You never know. Thank you for the likes, 47 likes. Please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. That would be swell. Jackie is here. Jackie, Oregon. Jack, it's very warm here where I live in Australia, Aussie land, Oz. 80 degrees, 80.6 where you are. 80.6. Hmm. It's interesting, Rocky. Not too much snow in Colorado. Can't predict it anymore. We certainly didn't predict the worst winter we've had in like 10 years, 8 years. It's the way for there to be a warm winter next time around is for me to go to Florida. If I go to Florida, everything here will be in the 40s, during the winter. Jack, we love the flower show today with you and your gal Karen. Beautiful, beautiful flowers, beautiful plants. They do a good job down there. They do it so early, but Karen did bring home the big yellow thing of daffodils. I knew that was going to happen. And we got some wings. Well, look who's here, Mr. Las Vegas himself, appearing at the MGM Grand. Mr. Vinny Maru. Hi, Vinny. Rocking around the Christmas tree as the Christmas party hop, at the Christmas party hop, exactly. Brenda Lee. Think I'm a little late in several ways. Why you haven't had your period? I'm just joking. I don't know why I say these things. Jack was probably singing along with Dean Martin, Let It Snow, just not long ago. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I love songs like Winter Wonderland by Engelbert Humperdinck, but I'd much rather be in Maine in July or August, That I love Dean Martin though. Everybody loves somebody sometime. Hey, brother, pour the wine. He was so underrated. He was really, really a brilliant phraser in his songs. He just didn't phone it in when he went into the studio. He really put thought into how he was going to sing the song like Frank Sinatra would sing. So Barry Manilow keeps postponing his Vegas stint because the doctor said, no, you're just not ready. Really, it wasn't that long ago he was told, after 3 songs, you're done. So give your voice time to heal from that heart surgery. I think there was tension between Elvis and the Colonel. Well, sure, leading up to 1977, because Elvis knew that the Colonel was not a U.S. citizen. Well, I don't know if it happened as dramatically as it did in the movie with Austin Butler, but to call him out and curse at him from the stage, noting to the audience that he had no passport, that was a dramatic moment. Did that really happen that way, exactly like that? Um, Jack breaking the bank with the ads, really. See, I don't see them. Yeah, they're heavy. They are heavy. Um, how songs have changed, says Jupiter's Realm. Yeah, but we played a role in that. I don't know what your age is, Jupiter's Realm, but we liked those dirty songs in the 70s that would lead to rap and what have you. So when Donna Summer was moaning all over the radio and Love to Love Your Baby, there was the short version, which had a lot less moaning, and that's the radio edit, they would call it, the one you were most likely to hear on Top 40 radio. Then there was a 17 or 18-minute version of that where she's got the studio lights out and it's the real thing that she's presenting to you. Oh my goodness. So, we played a hand in the progression that would become filthy rap, where women would be called B's and W's, as Zsa Zsa Gabor would have said, B's and H's. And she said the cop called her bleeping. She didn't use the word H. And Phil Donahue said, I think you mean a bleeping W. And everybody laughed. She said, oh, well, English, it's difficult for me. Rap sucks, plain and simple. I would agree with that, especially if the message is terrible. I can deal with it if it's a positive thing. Back, Vinny, when I was on the Christian network for 11 years, we had a couple of rap groups, and of course, they were, their messages were very positive. I don't love it. I'm just saying that, you know, some of the I can't believe what people and the artists that they embrace, and then you listen to some of their content, and you see how awful it is. But sure that's true. Um, Now, watching Bear rap to that song, the boogie and the beat, whatever it is, he does such a fun job of it. Um, he's done it a number of times on camera, not on his nightly newscast, but it's kind of funny when you see somebody like Brett Bear rapping. Engelbert Humperdinck, A Man Without Love, is one of my faves. Yeah, haven't heard that song in a dog's age. Yes, that's not Tom Jones, right? That's Engelbert. Okay. Um, and they're supposed to be going out together with somebody else, a third person. Maybe that'll hit Las Vegas. So Vinny, Tom Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck, and I want to say in the worst way, Frankie Avalon, but I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. Still getting over the death of Neil Sedaka. He was one of the best. 800 songs that he wrote. And describes himself, unfortunately, as not a religious man. Um, when he performed in private parties and things like that, he might not be as wholesome as you thought he was. He had a little salty mouth sometimes. There's a clip of him performing, and who's in the audience but Don Lemon and Don Lemon's husband. Yeah. Neil's talking about garlic, green onions, ginger tea, horseradish, spearmint, etc. Sounds like some pretty good stuff right there. Hey there, Vinny, says Robin Roman. How have you been feeling? That's a very valid question. How have you been feeling? If you should wish to answer, Vinny, are you getting the proper treatment and, that kind of thing? Jeez. Neo, you go a long way for that joke, the Tom Jones joke. Yes, your garden plants. Well, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Can you make some gum for us with your spearmint? I can see Jack going going out tractor tipping with a Mator. I don't know what tractor tipping is, and I don't know what a Mator is. Elaine Peterson says, I'm not that religious. I'm a Jesus follower, Jesus only. So do you eliminate the Father and Holy Spirit? What are you talking about? Laughing all the way. I think we're back in the Christmas songs, aren't we? You have never seen Cars? I saw Used Cars with Kurt Russell. I've never seen Rick Ocasek in the Cars. The late Rick Ocasek. Cars is where tractor tipping. This has probably happened down at the Orange County Fair Speedway because they've had certainly monster trucks and stuff like that. They've had tractor pulls. Yeah. Did I go to them? No. I went to one or two stock car races round and round the track. Oh, jeez. Not my thing. Not my thing. I always wanted a Mach 1 Mustang, though, and I never got it. And what's her name there from the Outnumbered show? Emily Compagno has some beautiful classic cars, including a really hot Mach 1 Mustang. And of course, she's pretty hot herself. Elaine is smoking pot now. We know that. She wants to go to Hawaii with Jesus, for Jesus. I would love for Jesus and I to go to Hawaii. Okay. I still watch that from time to time. Entertaining. Um, it's an animation film? Huh. I do not know it, no. Used Cars was very good with Kurt Russell. Larry the Cable Guy was Mator? Huh. You mean it's a cartoon and he does the voice for it? Cars is where Tractor came in. See, I did not know. I did not know. So I saw a little bit of Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman on the Rock and Roll cruise ship, the reuniting of the Guess Who, because they're the two guys that matter, you know. And they had to sue to get their name back and stop what was really a tribute band. Sometimes they had the original drummer, but he was not well and missed a lot of shows. I saw the original drummer in a Guess Who tribute band, except it wasn't tribute because he was in it years ago at the Friar Tuck Inn, and they were fantastic. Then there was a group that I think in 2025 was at the Paramount Theater, but the Guess Who, Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman were able to stop that. So I saw them outside with their hair blowing and stuff like that on the deck of the boat. And, it's not good acoustics, of course. But there are two great guys that did a lot of great tunes with two different bands. And sure enough, Randy does some of the Bachman Turner Overdrive songs, of course. And, Burton is straining to hit the notes and what have you. And the old trick of having the audience sing it for you, that's a popular trick. Tow Mater, yes, indeed. My favorite character in that movie. Huh. Get her done. I love that. I love that. I've seen quite a bit of his stand up. It's mostly funny. Elaine would never smoke pot. Never? She might have smoked it, but she didn't inhale. Yeah. Well, Bill Clinton had cigars, but he didn't necessarily light them. Just saying. Rush Limbaugh did light them, and that probably contributed to his death. I like to believe cigars in moderation are fine, but when you start getting into the habit of you got to have a cigar 1, 2, 3 times a day, a big fat cigar, that can't be good for you. I'm looking forward to my first cigar this year. I really am. May not smoke the whole cigar, but I'll go down to the corner and I'll get a pouch of 2 Dutch Masters cigars, the big ones, and I'll have a little plate of honey because I like to dip the end of the cigar in the honey. Apparently, Bill Clinton liked to dip the cigar in the honey too. I think. Sounds familiar. And Elaine, Gloria, even back in the day, had a little herb, it seems. I did see a little of the Cheech and Chong movies. I do remember the Big Doobie, but I was far from a Cheech and Chong guy. Ouch or ooh, Andrea. Yes, I saw Engelbert. I saw him live in Vegas. I was blessed to come up on stage, and he gave me his one and only monogram scarf. Wow, that's cool. Seems like a very nice man. He lost his wife a year or so ago. And so work became more important. He was going to retire, but work became more important to him at that point. And he's still out there touring. And I think he's going to do something with Tom Jones. Let me know, Vinny, if he's coming to Las Vegas, because, well, that's a show you want to see. He did a lot with cigars? Really? Slick Willie. Yeah, well, boy, he's getting on now at 79. The hands are a trembling. The hands are a trembling. Um, I don't think I could have resisted Monica Lewinsky either. Full disclosure, because she's the girl next door type, and that was always my biggest weakness. So I think Hillary wasn't upset that he had been naughty because she's been naughty herself. I think most people have figured that out. But with an intern, Bill, you had to do it with an intern. Well, where was he supposed? You have relationships at the job, right? What's he supposed to do? Tell the Secret Service he's going out for a night on the town? What's he gonna do? It's got to be somebody from the White House. I think Monica's probably talked about that. She admits that she had the hots for the president. And when she knew he would be coming in the room, she reached behind her. She was wearing pants and she pulled her thong up so it was visible. And he came in and was talking to everybody, and she saw his eyes go right to it. And she knew she had him. She knew she had him. So she played a role, and she'd be the first to admit that. What she objected to is when he made it sound like she was just some kind of a machine and there was no love and intimacy between them. I think he had very strong feelings for Monica Lewinsky, I think he did. George Burns said he used to smoke 7 or 8 cigars a day. There's always an exception to a rule like that, He died at 100. This will be the first video by Jack that gets age verification required. Oh yeah, and Vinny, trust me, Oh, well, the things I could tell you, Vinny, the things I could tell you. I had my wild years, just like Elaine Peterson. I had my wild years. It began at a young age. It did. And it's been the biggest stumbling block for me in my later years. Things are coming to my mind right now. Jack, yellow is your color. I suppose with my hair like this, right? Especially when when the color is starting to fade, it and the orange glasses and what have you. Yeah, thank you. You're probably right about that. I agree with that. Now, my favorite colors are gold, which is close to yellow, black, and red. Those are my 3 favorite colors. If I'm wearing a black shirt with a red turtleneck or, at least a red shirt that's visible, I like that. You love George and Gracie. Yeah. See, it took him a while to realize that he was going to have to play straight man to his wife, that's what was going to work. It's different when he's out on his own doing, stand-up comedy or something. But in terms of working with Gracie, she was going to be the daffy one and he was going to be the straight man. So when they worked that out, they did really well. Jack should have done a dual partnership show with Wolfman Jack. Well, I would not be fit to shine his shoes. He was a true legend. He really, really was one of my idols. And the fact that it was a completely put on voice, as you can see if you watch American Graffiti, uh, he put that voice on, and that must have challenged his throat to have to do that as much as he did, because he spoke just like a normal guy from, what was it, Brooklyn or what have you. And you know, allowed himself to get way heavy at the end there. And I just finished my show at Sound of Life Radio Network in Kingston, 14 station network, and I'm driving home on July 1st, 1995, and I'm listening to a newscast, and they announced the death of Wolfman Jack that day, and it was devastating, because he definitely was one of my heroes. I got the privilege of hearing him on WNBC, Radio 66, WNBC, opposite Cousin Brucey, who would eventually become my boss here right down the road at the Wall Radio Castle, which has now been bought by Hasidic Jews. I don't know what they're going to do with it. There's no place to park. That was always the problem it's a former state armory building. What a cool place to have a radio gig in. But being the midnight guy for so many of those years, I also did 6 to midnight, and then I eventually did 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. In other words, I'm trying to tell you, I wasn't stuck being the midnight guy because that's all I was good for. I liked the midnight shift, and meet a lot of hot chicks right there, Vinny. I'll tell you what, pick up the phone there and, hi, Jackie. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I remember those days. Elvis Presley smoked cigars and cigarettes, a form of tobacco, from the 1960s onward. Oh, really? Down in the man cave, huh? They saved the Federation, Vinny says. Explain what you mean. Too much LSD. Yes, you had too much LSD. I would never do a drug like that. I didn't want anything that would take control of my body like that. And I wouldn't know how my heart was beating and stuff like that. If you're paranoid and you take something like that, or speed, you're going to flip. You're going to flip. Kirk to Spock. Yeah, I was never a big Trekkie. I liked the later Shatner work, But what I did see, I thought was interesting. And man, I'll tell you, we never missed the unexplained with William Shatner. And looking forward to his heavy metal album. 35 songs. That's a triple album. 35 songs with guests like Richie Blackmore from Deep Purple. And who's the lead singer of Iron Maiden? I have no idea. That guy. And I don't know about Vince Neil. He don't have much of a voice left, they say. He don't have much of a voice left. So I guess Circus Soleil is still in Vegas, is it? It must be, because you don't have Siegfried and Roy anymore. Carol Cook says, night, Carmen. Carmen, we didn't get to talk too much, but I'm going to check out your site. Go to Carmen Sylvia Official, I guess, right here at YouTube, and check out her salary. Check out her channel. Dear. Kevin Spacey's being sued again by like 3 people in the civil court. They never give him a break, I did miss the joke, but was there really one there to miss? Was it from you, or was it from Vinnie Maru? You never saw Star Trek 4, Jack? No. Oh gosh. And you're a Shatner fan. So I missed something good. But I did see Boston Legal, and he was brilliant as Denny Crane, the lawyer who was, well past his prime, and he was sexually promiscuous, and, he was the top name at the firm, so they couldn't just tell him to go take a hike, but they would try to let him know that you can't handle this case. You just can't do it. Or they would have to be in there with him because he would blow it. But every once in a while, the old Denny Craig would come through, and he would surprise them with how good he was. Bruce Dickinson is the singer from Iron Maiden. Really? Okay. Does he still have a voice? Is he still alive? I've got that right? He's going to be on the Bill Shatner album. As he says, when you're 94 years old, you don't slow down, you speed up. You speed up. He can sing. Okay, good. And that's not all. There'll probably be somebody else. He's going to do some Ozzy on there, but he won't be having Ozzy join him, of course, unfortunately. Run for Your Life with Ben Gazzara? That's what that reminds me of. Ben Gazzara was incredible. You know, I used to love him as a boy, watching him. He had these piercing eyes, and he was very skilled at it being intense on camera. And so the last time I ever saw Ben Gazzara, somebody from the Communist News Network, before they were known as that, were out doing man on the street interviews. That was a hot topic. And who comes by with a very pretty younger than him young lady was Ben Gazzara with a big cigar in his hands. And then she looks at him and says, "Oh my God, Ben Gazzara." And he was happy, of course, that this young reporter knew who he was and did a very nice interview with her right on the street. The same thing happened with not Bon Jovi, but who was the rock star? It went in my head and it went out of my head. Oh, the lead singer of Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, because he had his daughter with him. It was a cold day and the reporter's out there. And all of a sudden, here comes Steven Tyler. And he was very cordial because he wanted to promote this. My daughter, she's a singer too, and and give her some national airtime, you know. So he was very nice. Yeah, he had a gaze, didn't he? But Run for Your Life was the thing that most impacted me. I saw a lot of his TV movies. He did a lot of TV movies back in the day. Did you ever see That Certain Summer with Hal Holbrook and Martin Sheen? Groundbreaking movie for its time. I mean, we're talking about Hal Holbrook and Martin Sheen playing lovers. And that was had not really been done that much then. I have discovered that listening to old NASCAR races, hearing the cars is very soothing. So you should put it on like a sound machine, right? I have a sound machine. Is it plugged in? It's not plugged in. I use a sound machine 24/7. If it breaks down, I get another one right away because I'm addicted to it. Some have a New York City type sound machine with police and fire and ambulance going by and what have you, because they're so used to that, you know. Just play the YouTube replays that are 3 hours long. Yeah, I could do that. But yeah, I'm used to I like the waterfall sound, you know. I like that. I don't like the heartbeat sound. That would freak me out. But always used it for as long as I can remember. I've used a sound machine at night because, for one thing, I want to drown Brad out if he starts making noise early in the morning. He knows not to play the organ without headphones till 11 a.m. On occasion, he has violated that. And we have to remind him. Bill Bixby, because we were talking about the Hulk last time, and you're talking about the She-Hulk. Bill Bixby and I stop a bomber on the Incredible She-Hulk. I got to see this. Targeted on the Midnight Express. Jeez. I've got to see this. I've got to remember. I wake up a lot at night. That's because you have a guilty conscience, Elaine. Love Bixby as a Hulk. Yeah, everything he did. Everything he did. One of the nicest men, you know. Just one of those guys that was kind of just like you thought he would be if you had met him. I wasn't a big fan of the courtship of Eddie's father, yet I watched a number of the episodes because Bill Bixby was in it. And I didn't see anything but clips from the 2 Elvis movies he did. I was a big fan of My Favorite Martian with Him and Ray Walston. That was great. What else? What else? I never saw Steam Bath. I'm going to look for that, see what that's all about. That was like on, as I remember, it was on Channel 13. It was on public TV, if I'm right about that. Can still see him walking down the street carrying his bag at the end of the show, going somewhere else. Right. It had that run for your life type thing in it, didn't it? Or The Fugitive. Oh, David Jansen is The Fugitive. I love those kind of on the run things. There's certain things that appeal to me, like those abandoned videos, abandoned places. Take me to a theme park that closed down. By the way, I don't know if this is real or fake, but there's supposedly a video out now where somebody shows you the abandoned house of Lisa Marie Presley. I saw it in a short, so there's got to be a longer version of it. But I want to check into that. Um, because you think there would be a big it was a nice house. You think there would be a security system and you wouldn't be able to get away with doing that. There wouldn't be no alarm there. Um, yeah, that's right. Don't make him angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. Even if he was his Uncle Martin or Eddie. Yeah, he was in an early episode, he was going to give him up as a Martian. And he says, uh, he's Martian. He's my Uncle Martin. He's my Uncle Martin. Yeah. Ray Walston was great. Vinny says to Elaine, I sleep terrible. Well, you've got issues, right, Vinny? Last 2 weeks been getting about 1 to 2 hours a day. Last few days have been some improvement because of pain, not because I'm tired. Oh man, that sucks. Just really sucks. So I'm wondering, obviously, um, what your prognosis is. But that may be something you don't want to talk about, especially publicly. Bill playing David Banner has a cameo in many of my episodes. Huh. So you're real good with that stuff, or do you have a tech guy who does your AI, huh? You have that? Yeah. That tone and the powder blue eyes, the music would let you know it is time for the transformation. Lou Ferrigno, I thought he would have been dead by now. People usually like him don't live long, and yet he's slimmed down and he's going strong. It seems. He's going strong. He's got to be up there. He's definitely got to be up there. Yeah, it was great. It was great. And it did dovetail into reminding you of The Fugitive and Run for Your Life and that kind of thing. So in the case of Run for Your Life, he was just trying to squeeze a lot of life in, right? Because he had a very serious illness. That's how I remember it anyway. But he did so many other things. Oh boy, he was good at playing an abusive person. I remember that. And because he had that intensity, you know. 90 watching still and 56 looking in. I wasn't thrilled with the opening that I did, but I'll leave it because that's what live is. Some are better than others. That's kind of my fault for not pre-reading it better than I did. Guess they are enjoying Dutch Masters has sweets, don't they? Sweets. They used to have flavored cigars. In other words, the tip of the cigar would be flavored with honey. That's why I got used to having honey on my cigar. And they had other flavors. And then it just seems like they stopped that. So now I just bring a little plate of honey out there and dip it. And I have a beverage. It's not usually an alcoholic beverage. And I listen to my polka show on polkajammernetwork.org. I go to the archives and I look up the Jimmy Sturr shows. He does 2 a week. He does the Saturday Night Polka Party and Polka Session. We'll be seeing Jimmy in the month of April. So, yeah, that's the story right there. Coming up on 11:30, and look at that. Look at that. Vinny Maru hits the Cash App for $50. Vinny, you are a blessing. What can I tell you? You're a blessing. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Todd was here Sunday for what was just a pop on to pop off and hit the Cash App for $30 because he hadn't been on the Saturday show. So that was very nice. And I understand people take breaks and stuff, but I just wonder what your prognosis is and how much medical attention are you getting. So that's jackthefairguy@gmail.com. But I think you want me to text you, and I think you did give me your number, so I'm gonna text you within the next day. I'm gonna text you. Thank you so much, Vinny. I really appreciate that. We have a brand new month here. I just got my taxes done, and we came out okay. In fact, I can say we came out real good because you have to allow for her fee, which was only $213, and she does a lot for that. So, because there's Cash App, there's Google, there's pension, there's Social Security, and there's Robinhood, which I I actually made a few dollars with Robinhood. The last 2 years, I've been in the red, So we'll see what happens. I don't have any big amount of invested because I can't afford that. But, I've got a few shares of NVIDIA, and I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best. AI stocks, that's what you want, they say. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you, Elaine Peterson, and thank you, Nanette, for hitting the Cash App as well. I really appreciate that, which is lowercase letters Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56. Michael sent me a picture here. Oh, so that's Eric Carr, right? Drummer Eric Carr. Looks fantastic. Looks fantastic. Let's see here. That should come up pretty good. You want a photo, not video. Eric Carr, I believe, from KISS. From right here in this general area where I live. Used to go to the Orange Plaza Mall, apparently. I love the Orange Plaza Mall. I love the underground with the German deli and the Chinese restaurant. Of course, I didn't know what real good Chinese food was then. It wasn't that great. But, when you're new to Chinese food, I'd go to the Orange Plaza, or I'd go to Hawaii Fountain. I wonder if Ken Winters is still here. I'd go to one of those two places. There you go. That's wonderful. Down to the bottom here. If I missed your comment, it wasn't intentional. Look at that. Jody Smith hits the thanks button there for another $2. Thank you, Jody. Thank you 1,000 times. Thank you. Still need to do your taxes. Yeah. I have the lady, and I always get it done like somewhere between February 17th and February 23rd, like I did this year. And I already got my very measly federal tax return back, but I had to pay 212 more than I got back from the federal. I had to pay 212 to the state. I heard a lady on who played a woodwind flute very gently. That relaxed me. I put it on a loop and it did the trick. We're talking about Dana Carvey and Kevin Nealon. Love them both. Love them both. So sad again to see, hear of the passing of Martin Short's oldest daughter by suicide. He postponed his comedy tour, How You Gonna Be Funny Now, with Steve Martin. Oh, yes. We are here to pump you up, you girly man. They did the Arnold Schwarzenegger voice, really. Sure. That's when Saturday Night Live was funny. Karen was watching it Saturday night when I got Saturday night when I got off the air. I went over there and went upstairs, and she was watching that. So I sat down on the bed, and they had Mumford and Sons on. I don't know if Mumford is still there, but his sons are, and female singer too, a big band now, Mumford and Sons. I don't remember them being that big. I always thought they had some talent, and they seemed fine, the song they did, but the skits were horrendous. And Kenan Thompson, oh man, aren't you tired of that yet? It's not that funny. It's not that funny. But that's a good one. So many great bits back in the Dana Carvey era of Saturday Night Live. Of course, Church Lady being at the top. The Hawaiian Fountain had great steaks back then, really. They always had awful, you can't even call it vegetable rice. It was like brown rice, and it was lousy. So you would say, if it was supposed to come with the brown rice, you'd say, I'll have white rice, please. They knew how to do that. But brown, ugh. But boy, could they make a heck of a slow gin fizz. You know that bartender, that short Asian man, he stayed there long after the rest of the people left, and it became, what's it called now? Not Rainbow. Rainbow was down the street a little further, a really good Chinese restaurant near where Adams Fairacre Farms is now. But it was the Hawaii Fountain for years. I think they found a frozen dog in the freezer once. The health inspectors. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you very much about the shirt. Thank Carol from Florida, who gifted me this many moons ago. What did I say that gets a yes, Jack? The shirt? And but of course, I started with the original troupe, you know, with Dan and John Belushi and Jane Curtin. I used to love them doing Weekend Update, Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin. Do I want to repeat the tagline, Vinny? I don't know if I want to repeat it. Martin Short's daughter. Yeah, I didn't say Dana Carvey, right? Martin Short's daughter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you have the same hair guy or the same tax person, it's really hard to move on to somebody else. You know, I've had that experience. I've had a number of hair guys over the years. Vinny and Alice in the 80s, who did my perms. I invited them to my first wedding. And They were right down there on West Main Street as you start to go down the hill, not far from where the mayor's restaurant is now, Ken. We like to go a few times a year to the mayor's restaurant and get the lasagna, which we split because it's big and we're trying to eat less, and the salad, which is big, and we split that, and that great bread that you dunk in their special formula of oil and garlic and what have you. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Um, because without Tony Boffa's, it's hard to find good lasagna out there, you know. It's made right. So that's where we go. That's where we go for our lasagna. Karen makes the nice lasagna though, and now they got the noodles that you wet them, but you don't boil them and layer them that way. They come already done, and it was good. We just had it. She just did it about a week ago. Amazing um, Mumford, and olive and peanut butter sandwiches. Well, certainly an avocado with peanut butter, I'd eat that. Yeah, back in the day, Saturday Night Live could be hilarious. Samurai Deli Man, Samurai this, Samurai that. And of course, Buck Henry was hilarious. Buck Henry, who was a writer for Saturday Night Live, he would do the seedy guy with the Instamatic camera, and Gilda Radner would play the Brownie Scout. That's all I want to say. You couldn't do that today. You could not do that. The Wine Fountain had great steaks, though. I never knew that. I never knew that. I always got the same kind of things, same kind of things. But now we either do Flaming Grill in Newburgh, which had a number of violations in the last report. It's not going to stop me from going there, though. They'll fix them. One time they didn't have hardly any, and it's the biggest place in Orange County. They pull in about $7 million a year at the Flaming Grill. Your average Chinese restaurant don't pull in that much, to say the least. They can seat about 250 people, and we like, of course, Goshen Chinese Kitchen. Those are the two places now. The other places just disappoint me. Rob Snyder is a really nice guy in person. Oh, you met him, huh? Well, he's a good man. He's a Christian man, although, he can be a little spicy in his comedy. And he's a Trumper. He's a Trumper all the way. Yeah. So he shares some of the pain that I share, that he doesn't have a relationship with his daughter, and that cuts like a knife. That cuts like a knife, because you just you can't believe that you're never going to see your daughter again. You try to wreck your brain of ways you can make it happen. Rack your brain, not wreck your brain. I don't want to wreck my brain, especially at this point. I don't want to wreck my brain. I've been loyal many years. She usually gives me discounts. She's always booked weeks in advance. She is very good. That's how I feel about Anna Rushing at Hudson Valley Tax in this neck of the woods. She's very busy too. Yeah. You just, every January and February, early February, Andy helps me faxing all the stuff over to, not faxing, but emailing all the stuff over to her, the Cash App and the Google, and the pension, and the Social Security, of course. My anniversary is this Saturday. Be depressing. Would have been 17 years. That's how long I was married the first time. 17 years. I'm so sorry, Vinny. We have a picture of Vinny and his beautiful wife right here. Right here. Let's see here. Got to go to my channel. Wow, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Videos. Why Bob Joyce may be forced to say his Elvis in 2026. That's still climbing. 6,300 views right now. Shocking statement. Bob Joyce concert attendee, who was also a journalist, says the quiet part out loud. 5,600 views. Usually I can find this video pretty easy. I'm already back to Ash Wednesday 2025. Was Vernon Presley being truthful? Must see footage. Roll in footage, almost 4,000 views on that. Was Vernon Presley being truthful? Must see footage. You won't want to miss that video. Check it out. Okay. It's from a year ago, but it's still growing. Funny how sometimes it's so easy to see a video, and when you're looking for it, all of a sudden it's not. That makes no sense at all. Makes no sense. It should be right there. I'll have to look for that. Is Kurt Russell ready to play Elvis again? 1,300 views. Bob Joyce at Mar-a-Lago. Coincidence? I'm actually at the Villa Roma Resort doing that during Poco weekend. 6,900. A lot of videos, guys. Probably over 700 now. Blinded by the Light, 1979. You can see the footage of me in the front row as the camera pans, 1979. Wow. It's endless. It's endless. But I didn't find what I was looking for. And I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Blinded by the Light, Manfred Mann, Earthband. Yeah, we didn't use that song. The movie, TV movie of the week starring Christy McNichol, who I was so in love with. So when I was working in a videotape post-production house in Hollywood in 1979, I lived there for a year at that point. That's how long I stayed out there. We would get the trade papers, and another one of the guards, because I was a security guard. I dressed like Tony Randall, but I was, had the badge on my belt. And we got the trade papers, got the Hollywood Reporter and what have you, and I saw that they were casting for Blinded by the Light, starring Christy and Jimmy McNichol. Jimmy plays a cult member, and Christy joins the cult to get her brother out. And I said to the other guard, as I was relieving him, I guess, I said, I got to be in this movie. How do I do this? He says, well, look, I tell you right there, you send a nice photo, you look the part, you're going to play a cult member, uh, and send it off, and you'll probably hear something. And I did right away. I heard something right away. And they told me I had to be in Pasadena, California, at the Pasadena Hotel, which would be like cult headquarters in the movie, and got to see Christy, and she was nice to us, the extras, and what have you. And it was I had a bit of a throat infection, but nothing was going to keep me away. Nothing was going to keep me away from that. So that the part of the movie that I'm in, you see it in the Blinded by the Light video clip here. Love Pet Detective. That's not Jim Carrey, right? um, some wild lyrics in that song. Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Vinny, because there was a disc jockey uh, here in New York named Dan Ingram, who was phenomenally famous and was also the voice of HBO. Did a lot of voiceovers. He made more money doing that than being the afternoon jock on WABC. But there is where he got to shine, as he was very funny and risque, right to the edge, that kind of thing. And he always said it sounded like they were saying, caught up like a douche, another runner in the night. Yeah. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Right. So that is Jim Carrey. He's had some work done in his face recently. For a while there, it looked like he had totally gone off the deep end. Looked like Jim Carrey was totally out there, talking about how he doesn't exist, nothing really exists, kind of a Christian Science philosophy. The car you're driving in doesn't really exist. And and then he said, you're never going to hear an actor say this, but I feel I've done enough and I have enough. And he let us know he was going to step away from the limelight. Well, then he got an offer for a huge amount of money. What was the movie that he came back in? Was it just voiceover, or was it him in front of the camera? Anyway, they offered him like $15 million or something. And so when he was interviewed, he was back to being the Jim Carrey that we know. And he said, yeah, well, I know I said that, but I bought a lot of stuff. He needed the money. Can you believe someone that rich can spend their money? Like some famous actors, like Nicolas Cage. Mr. Winky, huh? Mr. Winky, it's not ringing a bell. The Majestic was a fantastic Jim Carrey movie. I think he might have had a shot at getting a Best Actor nomination for it, because they won't ever nominate him for his silly stuff, for Dumb and Dumber and stuff like that. But in The Majestic, with the guy who did all those weed killer commercials, classic Hollywood actor, and also the man who played his father, it was really good, and of course totally ignored. But what he went through to play the Grinch with the makeup and stuff like that, it was really difficult. And he kept saying to himself, I'm doing this for the kids. I'm doing this for the kids. And he got through it. I like Popper's Penguins. My goodness. Mr. Popper's Penguins. Say that fast 5 times. Hello, Jack and family. Loved you all. Hi, Bayou Girl down on the bayou. Welcome, welcome. I did see Dumb and Dumber 2 because someone I knew really wanted to see the movie, and I said, I'll go with you. And I liked it because I like Jeff Daniels. Don't like his politics, but I like him a lot. I mean, who didn't see Pleasantville and love it? Pleasantville was wonderful. All my favorite actors were in there. William H. Macy, Spider-Man kid, and Reese Witherspoon, Toby, what's his name? Spider-Man. It does sound like a douche, right? Yeah, it does. There's a couple of songs I could never quite figure out what they were saying. I wish I could bring them to recollection now. It would be good. But it does sound like a douche, yeah. But we didn't use that song in Blinded by the Light, but it was perfect for the movie. The title was perfect. Yeah, Jeff Daniels is a great actor. Oh, yeah. I didn't get to see too much of his HBO news, playing the news anchor stuff. Next time I get HBO Max, because Karen wants to see that, what's her name there? Begins with a G, that period piece. The Gilded Age. When they're going to do another season, which should hit about the same time that Dexter Season 2, Dexter Resurrection Season 2 premieres next September. This year in September. Right now they have been working on the scripts. They'll probably start shooting Dexter around June, July, and it'll start to debut in September, October. I love Michael C. Hall as Dexter. Well, here's Brenda Noyce under the name Dalen Dallin. Jack, I forgot you came on at 9. You said that last time, Brenda. But now it's almost midnight, so, what's your excuse, really? Nick Cage, no K in that. He does not use K ever. And I see Cage. His brother was a DJ, Mark Coppola. Mark Coppola. Yes. On PLJ, WPLJ, right? Mark Coppola. I didn't know that, but I think I know that name, and I think I heard Mark Coppola. And Nick Cage is in Best Pancakes in the County with a scene filmed at Sabrina Joyce's house back in January. And we've got the picture somewhere here, and it's on a video. It's on several of my video thumbnails, with Bob Joyce standing. Well, he's standing next to Sabrina's husband, who looks like Randy Quaid now. And then Nick Cage, So it's all about a diner, and Nick plays a character called SOB. It's a thriller. So I don't think this is going to be like a godly film. I can't imagine. But I'm wondering, since the diner has the best pancakes and there'll be people sitting in that diner, who we might see in the background. Who might we see in Best Pancakes in the County? I am looking forward to that movie. Nicolas Cage does like an average of 4 movies a year. He has done more than that when he was trying to pay back the IRS. But he goes from movie to movie. They start the movie before he gets there, and they shoot around him, and then he's suddenly free to come in, and here he goes again. And even in the bad movies, there'll be a Nicolas Cage moment or two. He's determined. He's done movies he's not proud of. He just had to pay back the IRS for buying dinosaur bones and gambling his life away. So Robert Duvall was great in that one. Here is something with Bandit in the title. I actually have family ties to Elvis, although I haven't figured out exactly how yet. Well, get back to us on that. I love Nick Cage as Memphis Reigns in Gone in 60 Seconds. Perfect for that role. See, I need to see that whole movie. I think I've just seen some of that. I certainly liked when he played the Weatherman. I thought that was great. I loved the Wicker Man. He was wonderful there. Ghost Rider, not really my kind of movie, but just to watch Nick Cage is worth it. He's going to bring it. At some point he's going to bring it. I like when he plays the soft, sensitive guy. In the romantic comedies. I like that. And here's Colby Woodard. Jeff Daniels went through Clarksdale, Mississippi. MS is Mississippi. Years ago, or Missouri, I don't know. With his travel trailer, he went under the viaduct near the main part of town and knocked his AC unit off the top of his trailer. That's funny. Oh dear. I liked him and Peggy Sue got married. That's good stuff right there. But of course, the original Buddy Holly film with the now completely crazy Gary Busey, entertaining but crazy as a bedbug. Yeah, that's what brought him to fame. Buddy Holly driving down the highway in his beautiful antique car, passing a Century 21 billboard. It's in the movie. Yes, Mississippi. Well, you got to understand, that's not anything but me having a poor education. We put Jack on overtime. You sure did. You sure did. Busy did a good job. And I got to feed those kitties, They're going to start tapping their kitty paw and heat up their, well, we heated up their pad. It's a 6-hour thing. We heated it up late because we got back from that flower show, garden show. Check that video out, please. It was done about 6 hours ago or so. And the title is obvious. You believe Bob is Elvis. Yeah, the broken pinky. Yeah, we hear that a lot. The scar is the same. Yes. Gary Busey. Jake, I don't know. Well, he did a number of things besides playing Buddy Holly. And, but after the motorcycle accident hitting his head, he was never quite the same. I can't believe it. 75 still watching now. Views have been up here in the live. And in terms of my performance on this particular show, it's lacking, I think. Yeah. But it's, you guys carry it for me. It's like now I'm Burton Cummings. I can barely sing American Woman. So you're going to sing along with me. You're going to sing and make it. I'm not going to be able to sound like I did. And we'll never forget Kevin Spacey in American Beauty going down the road in his car, screaming along with Burton Cummings to American Woman. It don't get any better than that in terms of rock and roll, in my humble opinion. So I'll see them. They just announced the summer tour. I think it's got some American dates. I hope they're coming somewhere around here, and I want to see them. Sunny/74, first time here. Well, welcome to Worldwide Ramblings. We're closing up our show here. We usually do this on Wednesday and Saturday nights at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Sometimes it varies, and I'll do a promo. That's why you have to have your notification bell on. Subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Very important. Please do that if you haven't already. Helps us be seen by more people when we get to certain plateaus in the subscription department. That's the thing, Sonny. We think that he took those fake teeth off to be Bob Joyce. We think he took the fake teeth off, and there's that gap again. Good night, Jack and everyone, says Jackie Organ. Thanks for stopping by. Jake was the long-haired zealot in Contact, starring Jodie Jodie Foster. So that's what we'll do. We'll be back on Sunday night. Please pray for Carolyn Mullins. She was here for a while in a bitter argument with Robin Wolfe about Winona Judd. But she's got, real issues that we're praying for to deal with, things she's already talked about, including the same thing that Bruce Willis has. The same thing, but she's in the beginning stages, and let's hope she stays there in the very beginning stages. Oh, boy. So we have started out March very nicely. Thank you for those who hit the thanks button. Thank you for those that went to Media Guy 56 on the Cash App and put a tip down there. It's very, very nice when we start a new month off like that. And thanks again, Vinny, Nanette, and Miss Elaine Peterson for doing that on the Cash App, and all the people who hit the thanks button tonight. I appreciate that. So, got the NIV here. Because we have much to be thankful for, even in these crazy times that we live in. I'm thankful that Jasmine Crockett will get her pathetic persona, nasty persona, out of the Congress in January. And I hope that she's done and that people in Texas have figured out that's not who they want as their representative. By the way, you don't want Mr. Tallarico either. He said God is non-binary and stuff like that. He seems like a nice man. He even tries to put God in the mix, but he's not the real deal. So then we're stuck with the dinosaur who should have retired, John Cornyn, I mean, how old is this man now, But he's a lot more solid than anything the Democrats are offering. But he's going to be in a runoff with the other guy, and I don't know too much about the other guy. So that's not a done deal yet. He didn't get enough of a percentage, but thank God that Tallarico got enough percentage to send Jasmine Crockett. She can go on MS, they call it now. Yeah, that's what it is, MS. It's a disease channel with disease minds, and or she can go on CNN and, just be stupid, because she's real good at it. Psalm 75, we give thanks to you, O God. We give thanks for your name is near. Men tell of your wonderful deeds. You say, I choose the appointed time. It is I who judge uprightly. When the earth and all its people quake, it is I who hold its pillars firm. To the arrogant I say, boast no more, and to the wicked, do not lift up your horns. Do not lift up your horns against heaven. Do not speak with outstretched neck. No one from the east or the west or from the desert can exalt a man, but it's God who judges. He brings one down, he exalts another. In the hand of the Lord is a cup full of foaming wine mixed with spices. He pours it out, and all the wicked of the earth drink it down to its very dregs. As for me, I will declare this forever. I will sing praise to the God of Jacob. I will cut off the horns of all the wicked, but the horns of the righteous will be lifted high. This is a psalm of ASPA, ASAPH, a song to the Lord, Psalm 75 in the NIV. Oh, you're still here, Robin Roman. Ads have been few for me. I think as it gets later in the show, they get less, right? I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't see them until I watch the replay. And the first time I watch it, I don't see many at all, especially in the beginning. So, Vinny, I'll be in touch with you. I wonder how you're doing, you know? Oh, boy. Like you didn't have enough. God bless your wife in heaven. Happy birthday to her. Would have been your anniversary. I'm sorry. God bless you. I hope that you are reunited and it will feel so good. That would be wonderful. Yeah, Neo has more ads than anybody. I don't know why. If you're talking about Talarico, he's definitely wrong. He knocked on my son's door in Texas, though. He did. My son met him. So, I mean, he got out there and worked hard for this vote. He's just got the wrong, in my opinion, politics. We don't want what he's selling. I don't, anyway. So that's it for Worldwide Ramblings. Wow, we're about close to a record, gang, on how long we have been on. I can't believe it myself, but you're wonderful people. This was not a night when I felt like I was on my game at all. So about an hour into the show, I realized, gee, I got nothing. But you picked up the ball and you inspired me with some things I could comment on, and we got through it. Have a terrific Thursday. I think rain, and then we're going to have summertime next week, or at least a solid spring. This Saturday, and we'll be on just before it, most likely, daylight savings time, 2 a.m. Arizona. This does not apply to you. I don't know what you do over in the Aussie land, but I know it's not that. So 2 a.m. here in most United States of America, except Arizona, 2 a.m. will become 3 a.m. You'll lose an hour of sleep. And that's okay, because that means more daylight when you most want to have it. I don't see much daylight in the early morning. I'd like to see more as the summer mornings come this year, because it's a beautiful time. So you find yourself up at 8 o'clock in the morning and it's all beautiful, and you say, now what do I do? It's just a weird time. As Paul Morrow said from Fox News, he's the retired detective inspector. Things that he didn't like, he says, anything that happens at 6 a.m. I thought that was a good line. I could relate to that. Anything that happens at 6 a.m. other than the sunrise. After that, it's all downhill. Jack Whitler saying, a big God bless you. Till next time, hopefully Saturday night at 9 Eastern. Big God bless you, and thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. I sincerely do. Bye-bye.